Hello, I'm Wes the Explosion, and I just fed my cat so that I wouldn't have to stop in the middle of this, and the one is barfing because she ate too fast. So, we'll, you know what? I can get this started. I can just have the intro cutscene go while I go clean up vomit. I'll be right back.
With the advancement of science, humans were able to create industrial humanoid robots. A helper
No.
robot by the name of Mega lived peacefully in the labs of the foremost authority in robotics, Dr. Light. But then, one day,
I've been looking all over for you, Mega. We've got a big problem.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. The name's Wiley, the one and only, the brilliant scientist, Dr. Wiley. It may seem rather sudden to you, but I've decided I'd like to take over the world. Anyway, to begin, Dr. Light, I'll be taking your precious robot.
Holy shit. Not only did she vomit, she vomited into a stinking vent. So I needed to pull that out, clean inside the vent, and clean the grill as well. Sorry about that, I guess is what I should say. I'm just gonna be a little annoyed that the first 5 minutes of the stream was just, oy.
Dr. Wily,
She's so dumb.
what insanity! Using my robots to conquer the world.
She's so dumb.
Professor, please, change me into a fighting robot.
Mega? What are you saying, my child?
And maybe I should be more sympathetic, but the vet says that, like, if she's barfing up a bunch of undigested stuff, that probably means that she's eating too fast.
All right, I understand.
So it ain't like she's sick or something.
Such things must be done. I must make
It is the consequences of her own actions.
Please assist me.
Either way, hello, where's the explosion? We're doing Mega Man powered up with Mega Man specifically. I could have used a version of Mega Man that has a charge shot. Maybe that would have been fun.
Adapted your arm cannon so you can acquire your opponent's abilities. They will then become your
And maybe we will at some point do that down the line, but for right now, we'll just go.
No, rather, Mega Man. Yes, that's it. From this moment on, you shall be Mega Man.
Oh, how great. Ay. But either way, this is probably the least objectionable way to play it because I will have the full complement of weapons. Which is good. No one guy that I don't know how to beat because my weapon does like jack diddly squat. I'm just listening to see if there's like a secondary vomit. And now the first bit of this stream is just me talking about vomit. Which is a fact of life, but it's not gonna be. Not everybody wants to talk about it. But it's relevant. It's hard for me not to talk about it given the circumstance. Sis. Oh, the time rate's only 51%, probably because, you know what, we all know why.
Everyone's going haywire and turning.
Oh, that's a shame. Who do I even want to start with on this run?
Robots, your friends. You must stop them. For the
Who is the least annoying?
I'm counting on you.
I might want to take out Electman because the oil slider isn't really gonna do much for me. I don't remember how I did this the last time.
Electrifying.
So I'm not really sure what order I want to be using, but I guess we'll figure it out as we go. Yay! There we go. I found the perfect way to get... Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is just making me think. I got, like, the first... And I already read, like, the full thing in... Well, a fan translation, right? But there's the Mr. Mega Man manga. I was like, you know, I reread the first volume, the actual translation, the official translation. I shouldn't say actual. I guess someone isn't getting paid, it doesn't count. But you know. I know I did that wrong. There we go. And I do like, I quite enjoy it. Haven't read Little Mega Man yet. As soon as I jumped, I'm like, you screwed up. Though it is one of those manga that feels like it changes direction like a little bit. Which kind of makes me wonder if that was like always the plan or if there was some sort of feedback. Okay, I think I should have made that one. This is just gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad and it's gonna be sad. Because it's just like a manga about Mega Man. After Dr. Wily quits, he grows up because I guess he can do that. Wow. That's how tough that section was. They put a thing right in front of it and right behind it. But yeah, once Dr. Wily finally gives up, Mega Man just becomes, whoops, a dentist of all things. And then he just kind of gives, like, career advice to the other robot masters. But then at a certain point, it kind of pivots into combat stuff again. Which I guess there's no rule against that. And I mean, it is Mega Man, right? He is the super fighting robot after all. There's still just something like a little weird about it just because, you know, if you were reading a slice of life manga, you wouldn't expect it to suddenly turn, you know, frickin' battle manga. You know what I mean? So I kind of wonder, you do it too late. You're just dumb. Okay, I want to try that again. My hands are sticky from the vomit, the washing my hands, and the stinking Clorox wipes. That must be it. But yeah. It's an interesting take, though, on it. So I've been wondering, it's like, because the video that I did, like, a few weeks back on stinking, you know, like, the 0 issue of... Whoops! The Mega Man Timelines comic, that did decently well. Whoops! So there's a part of me that's like, well, maybe I could do another review, but then again, it's not like the hot new thing. It's been out in Japan for a while. Then again... It's Mega Man, which is on brand, so that's at least something. And it does seem like that does better on the Mega Man channel, so that might not be a bad idea. Just trying to figure out, like, what kind of stuff people actually want to see, you know? Maybe if I were better at reading analytics, but I am not. I'm not bad at math, but if I'm just staring at, you know, numbers and everything like that, like, I space out while doing my taxes, but then again, I imagine that's probably pretty common. Taxes are not exactly an exciting frickin' topic. Okay, this is where I died last time. So let's just go ahead and not this time. Yeah, I probably could have gotten away with that. I guess I should just be glad that I'm not stinking being shot at while this is happening. Though a magnet beam would be pretty swell. No! But I don't think... Oh, man. I played this game so much, but rarely as Mega Man, so there's a part of me that's just like, did they put the magnet beam in this? I kinda wanna say no. It's probably in the classic mode. There are so many modes in this. Oh no, he's coming right for me. I hate big eyes, they're such a shitty enemy. I always wonder about this, because this seems like a door. Which maybe it's just to match the ceiling and everything, right? But it still seems weird, and it makes me wonder, it's like, there's not an alternate path into here, is there? I mean, I guess there is an alternate. Maybe that's the way you go if you use the stinking time arrows on the one block.
That kind of attitude. It's really too bad. But I'm going to finish you.
Oh dear. He's gonna be a pain in the ass. I jumped into that. You know, I think we can do this. I'm just gonna check volume real quick. That sounds good to me. Now let's hurry up while we still got stinking. Damn him. Listen, I don't have the most room to dodge around in because the stupid blocks. Honestly, maybe it'd be better to fight Gutsman first? Damn it. Because then I could just... Darn it. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted him to blow up the block for me, is where I was going to go with that. How do I normally deal with him? I guess I could shoot him with Oil Slick if I had Oil Slick. But I don't think really using Oil Slick is all that good. Unless you're specifically running in to the other guy. Damn it. Oh, shoot me point blank. That's real cool. Okay, this is good. Assuming I actually jump in time. The Thunder Beam's pretty big. Honestly, I think just to get all of them unlocked initially, you have to beat them all Buster only, so that means that all of them should be doable. Hypothetically. I also forgot about the animation when you get a power, because, again, it's been so long since I played a stinking Mega Man in this one. Which is a good bit of the fun, but you know. No, Mega Man beats Time Man now. That's one of the weird it's nothing too crazy. It's just they shuffled the weaknesses around a little bit to accommodate the new guys. And I just need to remember that. I played the original a lot. So as you'd probably figure, I'm used to how the weapons work. The boss order in the first one. There we go. Damn it. Some of these are just very inconveniently placed for some reason. There was another one of those stinking parts in, like, the last level, too, but my gosh. As much as I would like to collect everything, it doesn't really matter. I probably mentioned it before, but there we go. Like, I never messed with the level editor, and at this point, like, I guess I could make levels for myself And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if there is a fan server somewhere where you can trade, you know, like, data off your PSP memory cards. But still, my point is... it's not super necessary. It's just the part of me that wants to collect things that wants to collect them. Which I don't think is the craziest thing in the world. Nah, man, nah. And now, even if I die stupidly here, it won't matter. Okay, I made it. That'll just not be bothering me anymore. Oy, oy, oy. But yeah, who doesn't like collecting things in video games? That's, I think I like collectathons. But playing Donkey Kong 64 has kind of made me question that. Watched a video today of someone defending Donkey Kong 64, and it's like, well, I'm glad that you like it, but... still hate it. Was not enough to convince me. Did leave a comment on, like, the video, and, like, this is just something in general that I find kind of interesting. Because, like, the video is from, like, a year ago. So whenever I do, like, you know... honestly, sometimes it seems like, you know... even if the video wasn't all that old, it's like, well, I'm not really expecting anybody to reply back. Viewer... or video maker, just because it's like, well, it's so old. I mean, you know, who's currently watching it? And my gosh, like, my whole thing is... when I do videos, like, you know, just beyond a certain point, I tend not to reply back to comments left just because it's like, I don't remember what I said. Especially on, like, ones that are over a year old, because then it's like, listen, I might have had a very different opinion this same time last year. Which maybe that's not a very good, stinking mindset to have, just because it's one of those things where it's like, well, you know. If your opinions change that frequently, are they even worth listening to? That just means I'm always learning and the like, right? I really, really wish that they weren't invincible when they did that. Okay, we're learning not to let him do that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so as long as I don't finish him off with his weakness, it might count? No, he's dead. He's super dead. I super killed Time Man. My bad. But either way, we're just kind of, like, impressed that he was still, you know, the guy was still interacting with, like, those old videos. And maybe I should just go for that more often and be like, well... I'm sure the you of a while ago knew what you were talking about. Also makes me glad that I wasn't, like, as mean about Donkey Kong 64 as I was thinking of being. It's like, no. There's a difference between critiquing something and just being, you know, like, a confrontational, aggressive, a bitch. I've been known to be a bitch. I can admit to personality flaws. Can also admit that I'm not the biggest fan of these. Okay, that was bad. You didn't even get to the hard part of the break in the tracks. I'm locking in just stinking. There we go. Okay, there we go. We're fine. Sweet Christmas. The parts where you can slide, I wonder if that's... Because there is like a version of Mega Man that can slide. Did they put in that just for that? When you unlock the sliding Mega Man, this will be a really cool little thing that you can just skip. You're putting a lot of faith in people. Because I want to say... I'm trying to remember how you unlock everything. Because I know I unlocked the Charge Mega Man. Yeah, let's not stay there. By stinking, you know, beating all of the levels on, you know, like his whole game on normal. And I think you get another one by beating everything on hard. Wonder if there's one that you get for beating everything on easy. Although I think I would have did that, because I remember when I first played this. Like, just as an excuse to go back and play things, I would go back and beat some of the levels I beat on normal, just so I could get the check mark for completing it on easy too. You know what I mean? It's not like some games where it's like, well, whatever difficulty you beat it on, you'll get credit for that. And any lower difficulties. I hate this so much. Guts, man, you're a bitch. This is why, oh my gosh, people rage quit stinking original Mega Man, the drop platforms, but I swear that they, you know, they're a bit more liberal with them here. Be like if we gotta, well then again, they have used the Quickman lasers a few times. And I swear Quickman lasers, I don't think they're as contentious as this, but I think that's mostly because everybody has a nostalgia boner for stinking Mega Man 2. But they bring them back a good bit. The comparison I was gonna make would be like, it would be like if we got a powered up 2 and they were like, what if the entire Quickman level is just security lasers? You don't get your nice little reprieves. Huh, so I can shoot through his... I think I did that earlier. I shouldn't be too surprised. I think it was with a Sniper Joe earlier, but still. When you can reach past someone's hitbox, that can be pretty interesting. Damn it. You hesitated. You hesitate. Do I go for the bottom one? I swear these are just made to be assholes. Because I do all these perfectly. Maybe not perfectly, but at least passively. And then we get to, like, the bottom one here. And it's like, yeah, no, but the gap's pretty... Mind the gap, too. It's like, come on, I did the challenge. Can't you just give me this one thing? Good evening, Rayquaza. Can you not give me just... Oh, yeah, just the jump at the end's easy. No. You must be the god of platforming. Oh, must I be? Oh, must I be? Oh yeah, helis are in here. Oh god! Very manageable when you get them immediately. If you don't, they're hell on earth. I freaking knew it. I was like, this feels familiar. This feels like one of the things where I'm just like, well, I'm going down, might as well drop off the ladder, and then it kills me. Because it's Mega Man, and Mega Man can be cruel. Cruel and unusual. And I think it refills my weapons in between tries, so I don't think there's really a reason to not use it on Guts Man. But I'm gonna lemon him once because I don't think I get the full health bar.
Time to punch out and go home, Guts Man.
So that's one of the other things with Mr. Mega Man. Like pretty much with any adaptation, right? Of I guess a lot of games, but of course my interest is stinking Mega Man. It's just interesting to see what characters they make, like, what they focus on. I jumped. I think that was my last time slow. But yeah, if I had to guess, and I don't know whether this is because I think like it's different. Oh gosh. I think there's a writer and then there's an artist. It's not one person doing all of it, right? But I'm gonna say, you know, one of them likes Guts Man, one of them likes Enkar, and I think there's also a good bit of love for the threes in that, but near the end. Meanwhile, Proto Man barely gets a mention, and they might? I'm not sure if Bass shows up at all in the Mr. Mega Man manga. Rockman-san, if you prefer. I'm pretty sure you're still weak to Super Arm.
I'll finish this.
But yeah, I'm gonna say, I think I've said before that I kind of figure that probably like the most famous Robot Master outside of Mega Man himself is probably Guts Man. Of course, Guts Man plays, you know, like he's one of the first bosses, right? One of the first Robot Masters. Then they have the Guts Tank. Gutsman G in 7. And also stinking... his lookalikes. Stone Man. And Concrete Man. Then he winds up showing up in the Ruby Spears. His Navi is one of the ones that show up, you know, like most often in the Battle Network series. He does play kind of a big role in Fully Charged. I wish I didn't have to think about that. And then in Rockman's Son as well. So I guess a lot of people latch onto him. Or maybe that's this sweet, sweet ass. I think it depends. I think it depends, Rayquaza. I think some of them got more advertising than others. But, like, one of the other things you gotta remember with Mega Man was back in the day, they were coming out at, like, a breakneck pace and everything, right? So I imagine it was probably difficult to advertise, like, 5 games a year just for one franchise. I'd say the way you could tell would be to look up and see if you can find... I should have waited. If you can find any goofy commercials for it. But now that you mention it, I don't really remember one either. I think the main reason why I knew this existed... I want to say that I saw advertisements for Powered Up and Maverick Hunter X in like magazines, but I do not remember any TV commercials for these. I think the main reason I knew they existed was because I like went into GameStop and it's like, oh, Mega Man. Die, you son of a bitch. Yay. So yeah, there might be something to what you're saying. There just might be. Three through 6, huh? I do think they advertised Battle Network a good bit. I remember a lot of ads in periodicals for them back in the day.
What's going on? You're an evil fighting robot now. I'm gonna stop you, Mr. Mega Man, and
Don't do it, Cut Man! Oh, I think I skipped this dialogue. I was kind of hoping that that would unseat you. And there we go. But yeah, it's kind of hard to like remember some of them. I know like the big Mega Man commercial that I remember back in the day was for like his 15th anniversary or whatever. And it was just, you know, them having like a bunch of kids and everything. They were like interviewing him and just like, what do you think of Mega Man? And they're like, Mega Man's the coolest. And then they'd show, you know, they show some stuff from Battle Network, the Legacy, not the Legacy, the Anniversary Collection, and the Battle Transmission. Well, Network Transmission, oddly enough. And the line from that I always remember was, there was like some little kid and, you know, he said something like, they call him the Blue Bomber because he's blue. And it's like, oh, well, that's cute. If you were an adult, I'd make fun of you, but... And it might also depend, Rayquaza, on, like, where you were looking, if that makes sense. Then again, if you're playing Battle Network, it's on the same system, but I think I saw, like, at least a little bit on Zero in Nintendo Power and the like. Did I have Nintendo Power? I'm trying to remember when I got my subscription. I think I got my Nintendo Power subscription in the GameCube, Game Boy Advance era. So yeah, I would have seen that. Though the Zero games, my gosh. I guess they advertised it enough because I did get 01 right when it came out, but I did not get the ones after that. Because of how brutally hard 01 was. So whether I had seen stinking an ad for 0, 2 through 4 or not, I probably would have been like, I'm probably fine. Listen, I only have so many tiers. Which is an important thing to remember. I could take these things out with a rolling cutter, but I want to reserve the rolling cutter because I'm going to skip it. I'm going to be real cool and I'm going to skip it. And then I slipped and almost fell in the spikes. Wonderful. And then I think I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I was just gonna say Bomb Man's weak because, yeah, weak to rolling cutter because I guess rolling cutter scissors cut fuses. GameSpot forums, huh? Yeah, I think I was a little late to the internet party back in the day, so I would not have gotten my information there, probably. Honestly, trying to remember... Oh, damn it, he jumped. Did have a... Oh, man. You know what? Yeah, that's what I thought. Ay, ay, ay. Though I was on, like, during the... I want to say it was the DS era. I was on, like, a forum where, you know, we did... You know, it was a text-based RPG based on Mega Man.
Don't run off. Let's have a little fun with my explosives.
So I guess I got kept pretty well informed in that time period. But I'm not sure did... Oh, Star Force. Star Force was the big one for DS, and yeah, we were all like really into frickin' Star Force on there. We used to compete to see who could get the, who could get the best boss times. Because in that one, I think like the version 3 chips, or maybe there was only one version for him. Oh god, he's such a bastard. But yeah, you could share your boss time with other ones, and whoever had like OAI, if you were friends with someone, you could share your stinking, like some of your favorite chips and also some of your extra HP and your boss times, and depending on how quickly you beat the boss would, determine how much their boss chip, like their battle card did. So it was a very big deal on the forum to have, like, a crazy good time taking out a boss. I want to say I had, like, 2 of them that I was the top for. Then there was 1 or 2 other people that had another boss, and then there was just one guy who's like, yeah, like, over half the roster, I had the best time because I'm insanely good at this game. Ay, ay, ay. And I'd say that makes you unique, Rayquaza. The reason why... Okay. I don't think this is going to be a crazy story. I'm sure a lot of other people are the same way. How I got into Fire Emblem was... like, when Melee came out, that was a big frickin' deal, right? And I got interested in, like, a lot of series from Melee, right? There were all the characters that I didn't recognize, and then there were also some, just trophies that they had in those games, right? Where I was like, oh, well, what the heck is this? I would be interested in playing this game. But then there was, like, stinking Fire Emblem, and then Nintendo Power had to do an article, and they're like, that was... I'm gonna kill you. Probably. But then Nintendo Power had to do an article where they're like, what the heck is a Fire Emblem? Or, well, I think it was, like, specifically, who the heck are Marth and Roy, right? And then they're like, yeah, they're Japanese only. And I was like, oh man, Japanese only? Don't be stupid. And so because of that, like, I don't think I was the only one that was a little curious, especially since Marth was considered pretty damn good in the game. And then that's when they're like, well, we'll start localizing these very, very, niche games. And then my brother, not Sam, because I don't think Sam was even born yet at that point. But he wound up getting Fire Emblem, or Fire Emblem 7, the Blazing Blade. Binding Blade is 6. You're really annoying me. There we go. And then, yeah, just kind of been on that train ever since. Which, based on how you, how you phrase things, I'm guessing that means that you didn't get in until the second entry. Which means that you should not have weird nostalgia blinders for Fire Emblem 7. Honestly, think it bugs Sam a good bit because, like, I know he likes 7, but it's not one of his favorites. So it's one of those just like, well, this game gets a better reputation than some of the others just because it got lucky with when it came out. And it's like, yeah, I can't deny that. I probably wouldn't be so infatuated with Lindis if she wasn't the first character I ever came across in a Fire Emblem game.
Reporting for duty.
But you remember that sort of thing.
Dangerous up ahead, sir. Oh, freeze it at all costs, soldier. I don't believe it. Iceman. Even a loyal robot like you. Well, sir, Soldier, finish your mission. Stop it free.
You talking to yourself? I mean, I do it too, so I can't really... Darn it. Criticize. He kept his aerial momentum? Oh my... Listen, he's getting all up in my grill, which I don't know that I much care for. Oh, I'm out. Oh shit. Can you give me a minute? I may have fired off a few prematurely. How comes yours can go through things? Is Fireman that? No, I need fire and oil. Oh, I was right on par. I got 100% credit for time. How spammy is it? Because I don't know if I want to... we'll see when we get there.
Sure. Give it your all on the next stage, too.
You got it.
Time to burn the trash.
Oh, no. I feel like I can probably... Like, I have the weakness. I think I can out-damage any of them if I have the weakness. Which won't necessarily be a winning strategy when we get to the boss rush. But it'll at least carry me through the standard ones. Oh, I probably... Like, why not, right? Oh, I did it. There we go. Okay. Don't need to panic anymore. We can just go. Oh my gosh. I didn't need this. The extra life, though, was just nice. I do not really expect games to be nice to me too often. Is that cynical, pessimistic? Maybe a little. You didn't give me enough room. I was probably supposed to use... ice. Anyway. I already got that. It doesn't matter. But yeah, oi oi oi. And I feel that I must... I gotta admit to something. Kind of embarrassing. Which, this probably won't make a lot of sense. You know, like, this'll only sound familiar to those who caught the last stream that Sam and I did. I'd wait until he was back, but he's not gonna be back for, like, you know... We're not gonna be streaming again for, like, you know, 2 or 3 weeks, because he's got he has a trip. But yeah, when we were playing Gale of Darkness, Sam and I had, like, this weird argument about, like, one of the anime episodes. Where he was upset that a Meowscarada beat an Incineroar in, like, a single hit. And I was defending the anime, despite that being one of those sorts of things that would typically bother me, where it's like, well, this doesn't make a lot of sense. You just made it happen because it needed to happen for plot reasons. And I was, like, trying to remember. It's like, I'm defending this, but I actually agree with Sam with a lot of his points. why am I sitting here thinking, actually, he's wrong, and when I watched the episode, I was fine with it, right? Because we went on, like, for a while about that, right? And then, like, I finally, you know, like, the next day, I got up, I sat at my desk to do my data entry, and about an hour into my shift, all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, you are the stupidest person in the world. Because I remembered why it didn't bother me that Meowscarada won in a single hit, and that was because she didn't win. We had this whole argument about how that didn't make sense, right? Or whether it did, and if they wrote it incorrectly. They wrote it correctly into the script. That's what I mean, not incorrectly. My point is, like, the whole thing with the episode is they fight, Meowscarada can't win, then Incineroar, you know, like, they start thinking more strategically, and it looks like they have a chance of victory. But before they can, you know, start landing more hits, a silly little thing happens, they get distracted from the battle, and then, you know, when they come back and they're like, oh, we never finished our fight, the other person's just like, nah, I can see that you're cool, we don't need to fight anymore, I no longer need to test you. So it was one of those, it's like, we were arguing over whether they would win or not, and it's like, the answer is they didn't. Our entire premise was flawed. And then I wound up, like, texting Sam, I'm like, Sam, next time I see you, remind me to tell you more about that. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, actually, if you feel like it, you can just call me when you get a second. And he's like, well, I'll probably see you before I leave, but if I don't, maybe I'll call you then. And I'm sure he's thinking it's like, it was a dumb conversation we had about the anime.
It's showtime!
Who frickin' cares? But it's one of those, it's like, no, I got that, I got the entire conversation so completely wrong. That, like, I will not feel okay about this until I tell you. Until I tell you how wrong I was. Because I kind of gave him, like, some sass where I'm like, listen, you didn't even watch the anime, I did. I'm saying it's fine. How dare you try to judge something that you don't even have, like, the experience with? And it's like, well, if anybody had seen the episode and listened to me, they would assume that I hadn't seen it. Of course, it's also, if I can say in my defense, one of the things with that day was I had a massive headache during the day. So much so that for like once in my frickin' life, I called off sick. And that Sam not been going out of town for like a week, I might have actually put off doing that stream just, you know. But it's like, no, we gotta finish this before you leave. So my head was still a bit fuzzy, but it's still, like, embarrassing. Honestly, oy oy oy. I think just an in general sort of thing with me is I feel like I'm very good at arguing. If I have all the time in the world to get, you know, my thoughts in order, right? But moment to moment, I am like, ay, ay, ay. I'll have an argument, I won't think of the right reply at the time, and I'm sure a lot of people are like this. Who doesn't have a time where they're like, oh man, 6 hours later, I thought of the perfect comeback, right? Which this, it would have been just, you know, that many hours later to remember that, oh no, wait, I was totally wrong about the entire thing. There we go. Does this I think it autofills. That's neat. I automatically have the energy balancer. But yeah, it just kind of reminds me of... I think it was an English class. I don't think it was a speech, you know, like a public speaking class or anything per se. But we had to, like, do a debate. And I let them assign me, like, I think some people, like, there were a few topics that were on offer. But I'm just like, hey, I don't care. Just give me, you know, like, I want to really, really go all in on this. Give me a topic and give me whatever side. It doesn't matter if I disagree with it. I will argue this. And the topic I got assigned was flag burning, right? Whether it would be okay or not. And I was specifically meant to argue against. And I got paired with, like, the one person who was considered, you know, like, the one person who was very, very, you know, like, had a lot of opinions. The sort of person who would be good at debating, you know what I mean? And I'm also going to say that, like, had I gone up against anyone else, I think I would have won. Which I guess that tells you where the story goes, right? But yeah, like, we got into the debate, and... it also bothers me because one of the main things is like, oh, well, da-da-da-da-da-da. You can't just tell people they can't do this. Freedom of speech. Oh, if you do that, like... he specifically used the word Nazi a lot, and I feel like that's kind of a cheap way to make an argument. Sometimes it's accurate. I won't pretend that there's not, you know, neo-Nazis or anything out there. My point is... looking back, I was much younger at the time... but I felt like it's, you know, looking back, it was a weak argument and everything. But it was one of those, you know, we had our debate and everything. And then, like, people could ask questions at the end, like questions on our points or whatever, right? And I think the teacher tried to give, like, one question for everybody as well. Oh, that's interesting. But yeah, like, the thing she asked me was, she's like, well, what if somebody burns a flag, you know, like, they burn it in their, like, backyard or something, nobody knows about it, it's not, like, a statement, they just, you know, like, they burn it for their own self-satisfaction. And I didn't really have, like, a response. I think I gave some sort of weak, wishy-washy thing back, and then it was, like, I don't know how long afterwards, I'm just thinking of it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the perfect comeback would have been... well, when you talk about someone behind their back, is there any harm in that? And I think you could argue that there is. But anyway, one of the things with the... to say about how close the debate was, right? I think, you know, I believe it was whoever was considered the winner of the debate would get, like, an extra 10 points added onto their score. And I believe our scores were 11 points apart, meaning he won by a single point. And I just, like, I still think about that, and I'm like, oh, damn, I could have won that. It's been, like, I don't know, how old was I? Like, somewhere in the 18-20 range, so it's going on 20 years. Half my life ago. And that still drives me freaking crazy. Oy, oy, oy. Like I said, I don't think anybody else... and I know that sounds like I'm tooting my horn, and maybe I am. But I do not believe anybody else in the class... like, I think I could have beaten, like, anybody else. I made it. Though I also kind of feel like that's what made it more worthwhile, because if it had just been, like, somebody else who, you know... Had it been an easy out, it wouldn't have meant much to me. Which, again, it sounds very, very arrogant to say that, but I don't know. I was gonna say, just die, please. Though I did have, like, an actual speech class, and my goodness. We did a debate in that, and I felt a little bad about that one. Because it was, like, against the person who, you know, like, I sat next to in class, and I think we got along pretty well, right? But, like, the debate was specifically, you know, do ghosts exist? And I was just straight up like, this was one that I actually, you know, it wasn't just assigned at random. It's like, yeah, no, I don't think they are. I'm totally into this and everything, right? I don't remember whether I won this or not. I want to say yes. But, like, you know, she was... Now I'm a good Christian boy. But I would not say that I'm, like, terribly spiritual. I'm not, like, into the occult or anything. Whereas she was. So she was arguing for. And then, you know, like, when I had to refute her stuff, it was just like, well, what do you think, you know, like, da-da-da-da-da-da. When this comes about, da-da-da-da-da-da, right? Like, what do you think of this? Like, one was a picture of, like, a ghost, allegedly. Just walking into a, you know, like, just hovering behind people in, like, the background. And they're like, oh, what about that? And I'm like, honestly, that, like, the dude looked like Count Dooku, right? I do not know the actor's name. Whoops. Do I just want to die? The point is, he did not have a terribly unique face. So I'm just like, well, it kind of just looks like an old guy walked, like, in the back of someone's picture, right? I don't think that really proves anything. And she's like, well, you know, and then, like, one of the other things is like, well, sometimes people hear voices. What do you think of that? And I'm like, it just sounds to me like they're schizophrenic, right? And I think that, like, because the person that I was going up against, she actually was, like, I think a nurse practitioner or something. Like, she helped out in, like, a mental hospital or something. Like, she worked with people who would have had schizophrenia. So I think me using that in my argument actually kind of ticked her off. And it's one of those, it's like, well, I do feel bad about that. Because my goal here is just to take the class, get my credit and everything. But at the same time, you can't exactly discount that, right? The whole schizophrenia thing, despite what me, myself, and Irene may have you believe, is just, you know, people, like, hearing things that aren't really there. I'm not sure how... Honestly, I guess if you had a very, very limited understanding of it, I could kind of understand how someone would. I screwed that up completely, oh my gosh, because I was talking. Like, a very, very, you know... It can kind of get mixed up sometimes in media. Whether schizophrenia is, you know... is that or it's dissociative identity disorder. Honestly, I read Moon Knight comics, right? That's a Marvel superhero, and he has dissociative identity disorder. He has, like, you know, multiple personalities. How many is a little open to interpretation. Darn it. I lost track. But sometimes they play it off as, you know, oh, he's swapping between them, and other times it's just like, well, they're just voices in his head that he listens to. So there's a bit of... there's some mix-up happening there. But yeah. I don't know. Maybe I should take a debate class and actually learn how to argue. But I feel like I know how to argue. It's just a matter of being swift enough to come up with the sick rebuttals. Is there a way to teach your mind to be a bit quicker? A bit quicker with the yucks? I feel like reading helps me, at least to some degree, be a bit quicker with my thoughts. And I do kind of like readings, you know, and I have been doing some reading. I just finished Hannibal yesterday. Which I was very surprised when I got to the end of that, because I've seen, like, the movie adaptation, and the book did not end the same way. Which I guess there's no rule against that. And given how this, you know, the book ended, I can kind of understand why they would change it. But it was just like, how do they fix this again? I vaguely remember, and then it was like, oh god. I gotta rewatch it so that I, you know, that I can see the difference. Feel the difference. Though I saw a sketch... No, it wasn't a sketch, actually. It was from a sketch channel. But rather than, like, the typical video, it was man carrying thing. He typically does, like, minute-long videos, like, there's about, that are just silly sketches. But he did, like, a 15-minute rant just going off on this dumb little, I guess, article that was, like, if a man owns these books, he's a red flag. One of the things he mentioned was, I think he said that, like, in the US and some European countries, like, I guess people fall off from reading after, like, high school and college and the like, right? Because they're no longer required. But he said, like, according to surveys, it's something like the book buying public, it's like 80% women and 20% men. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I would not have guessed that, I guess, is the long and short of that reaction. Like, I know it's a little unusual to just, you know, read as much as I do, but I didn't think it was, like, that weird where it's like, this is a lady hobby. Wonder if the ratio's similar but reversed for, like, video games. In which case, that would mean that I have a, you know, a feminine hobby and a man hobby. Masculine hobby. That would be the inversion of that word. Which is a little interesting. Are the missiles coming yet? Yeah, the missiles, they coming. Oh lord, they coming. The problem is I can blow them up, but then the explosions will still hurt me. And typically on, like, breaks and everything at work. One, I'll stand up because I'm sitting at my desk all day, and two, I'll typically read during them, and sometimes I'm like, do I look pretentious just pacing around in my cubicle holding a book in front of me? That's a good question, Rayquaza. That's a good question. My guess would be yes. Like... This was, I am talking about something else that someone else was mentioning, right? So I'm not really sure the parameters of the survey, you know? If I had to take a wild guess, I would say that they're probably just, you know, like, surveying book companies and being like, well, who are your customers? Which book company, like, you know, bookstores and everything, they would be selling manga and the like. So I would imagine that would count. Assuming you're buying it from somewhere like Barnes & Nobles or Books A Million, anyway. Would be my guess. And I mean, if we're being... I knew I was gonna die there. But yeah. Reading, though, in, like, the strictest sense... Well, maybe not the strictest sense. In the vaguest of sense. Like, there's different degrees of reading, you know? I read novels, right? And manga and comics. Which I'm sure a lot of snobs, they'd be like, well, that's not really reading then, is it? Oh, no! I would argue that it is just a different type, like maybe a different type of reading, a different intensity of it. But then, like, everybody at least reads something, I would argue. What are you doing? The swapping is what's killing me. Because everybody will read, like, you know, thumbnails and video descriptions and, like, you know, at least news article. Well, maybe news article? I don't know. To me, reading is reading. I feel like I should just hit him with... No! Damn it! By one! But yeah, I don't know. I would think that that would count, like I said, if you bought them from bookstores. Though also, like I said, different people will have different definitions of reading, which seems like it should be incorrect. Damn it. No! Why does it suck? Okay, that got him down small enough that we can do... Oh, no! But yeah, no, I would be interested to the answer to that question, too. Either way, I think we can get him. Oh, God, he got me. But yeah, I guess I could ask you if, you know... I'm assuming, like, I don't know what you read. I'm assuming at least manga. Given some of the things we talk about, would you consider yourself a reader? I'm not elitist, so I wouldn't give you shit for it, if you did. Well, that's an interesting take. I need to actually pay at least a little bit of attention. Oh my gosh! Well then, there you go. Like I said, I will not sass you. It didn't count me as being on top of it, but I was on top of it enough that it shoved me to the side. Either, you know, either shit'll get off the pot. Yeah. Oh, yeah. was like, please tell me I did not jump that incorrectly. Do I go for the extra min, or do I have faith? I go for the extra min. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, once I got finished with that, though, I remember that I had a bunch of manga that I bought that I just hadn't gotten around to reading yet. Thus, where the Mr. Mega Man came from. Oh, and I also wanted to say something to you. This is horrible, by the way. Barely counted. But yeah, I think I mentioned before that that apparently Udon has some sort of plan to release the issue 0 of Mega Man digitally. But I saw on their website, because like they're doing, and I wonder if my order counts. Barely, but barely still counts. Because they're doing something for, like, you know, Mega May, where if you buy, like, $80 worth of Mega Man stuff, you get, like, a nice little, you know, like, it's a dumb little metallic card. And so I'm like, oh, did they put up the X timelines yet? Maybe I can get some stuff from that. And when I looked, apparently... They have a $20 variant cover of the free comic book day thing. Okay, this is not what I want. Ah! Which just strikes me as incredibly funny. Get this for free? Or pay 20 smackaroos. Because you suck. So yeah, if worse comes to worse, you can always pay $20 for the free comic book day book. Which would be pretty funny in my opinion. Not sure I'd recommend doing it that way. It just be, they don't give me any blocks to throw at him. Well, that's because if you fight Cutman, you fight him with honor. And he doesn't flinch. He's too strong. Damn it. I wasn't expecting him to throw it in the air. I was expecting some build-up. Oh. Oh, man. Whoops. There we go. Cutman's pretty good. Cutman can wall jump and, you know, any extra wall option, like any extra jump options tend to be pretty damn good. Electman could be a I guess I'll take him on next. Also, good evening, Meddler. Oh, I was short. I keep on hoping that even if I miss him, it'll still get him on the rebound. And it's just not happening. Yeah, you're gonna do your big one. Are you gonna throw it? Oh, yeah, I hate you so much, Bomb Man. Your super attack, like the super attacks in general kinda suck, if and I'm being honest. I appreciate what they were going for, they just suck. That's it. Alright. Like, it seems like the sort of thing you should be able to interrupt them, but no, it's just like, I'm invincible. You're going to watch me do this shit. Oh god. Hang on. The only way I flinch you... Damn it. I was expecting you to do it along the floor. I was anticipating... Oh, I think I jumped that. Oil Man sucks so much. Freaking contact damage. Damn it. They're so big. You gotta really anticipate them. And sometimes he shoots pretty close to you. Oh my goodness. Though at least he doesn't throw him in multiple directions. Oh my gosh. Would it just be better for me to get hit with his super attack? Because the contact damage kind of sucks. Yeah, you could compare him to Electro. You could definitely compare him to Electro. Electro's green and he has, you know, electricity going off of his face in like 5 points. But Electman probably is the Robot Master that looks the most like just a straight up superhero. You hit me once, you little bitch. Okay, who do I wanna... Who is this again? Oh, this is Time Man, I think. And this should be... But yeah, like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, they... Whoops. They definitely take some inspiration from other sources for some of their designs. I mean, I'd honestly argue a lot of stinking, you know, the Robot Masters from 7 take inspiration from, like, movie characters, right? Shade Man's Dracula, Junk Man's Frankenstein. Yeah, let's kill that motherfucker. Turbo Man's a Transformer, which I'm not sure if all of these were, you know, and then, you know, Slash Man's like Wolverine, and I'm not sure, like, all of these were stinking... The movies that I'm talking about were movies at the time, but... Transformers and X-Men were at least a thing before they became movies, so... Oh god. The fun thing is, with Thunderbeam in the you know, original game, you can just kind of hit him with it. He's point blanking me. Damn him. You can kill him with like 3 Thunder Beams without even moving. Is where I was going with that. Am I gonna die because I can't beat Iceman? I can't beat Iceman. He is still weak to... That's your problem, you dumb shit! Ay, ay, ay. I missed. That's what I want to do. You don't like Jamie Foxx Electro? Honestly, Amazing Spider-Man 2 was pretty bad. I was like, I didn't think it was doing that much damage. Did he change weakness? Like, yeah, he uses... You take him out with bombs now. And yeah, they kinda ay. I am odd enough that I like the first Amazing Spider-Man, but the second one, it's pretty bad. I think that's why when Electro comes back, like, I kinda want to say that Jamie Foxx, when Electro came back in, No Way Home, was that what the latest one was called? I think he was just like, do not make me do the nerdy blue man shit again. Like, completely different character, but it was probably for the best. And I don't think we've gotten a new Spider-Man movie since then. Oh dear. Or maybe we did and I didn't notice because of superhero fatigue. Does he? It's been a while. I remember him saying something like, "Don't you know? I'm Electro." Damn it. There we go. Now hit him while he's slowed. Oh, come on. You gotta be kidding me. He's slow, but... Why are you Drill Man, Guts Man? Why are you Drill Man? Digging under floors? Ay. Feels big, it was super effective. Okay. Damn you! I was like, yeah, I can get up there and shoot him down in time. I can't. And I don't remember what Clone Machine, if Clone Machine has like a stinking weakness in this or not. You know what? Damn it. I go over there for the good stuff, and what happens? I get hit anyway. I take damage on the way back. Did it even out? I don't entirely know. Let's see. Oh, shoot. I don't have as many of these as I would like. Oh, shoot. And now I'm out. I keep on trying to push the button, but apparently I'm not frickin' on it enough. Although I was close enough for the explosion. That's cool. Okay. I got 1.5 chances here. Gotcha. Okay, I don't think I played the PS2 thing. So, yes, we might be talking about... I'm just talking about Amazing Spider-Man, Blue Man, Electro. Here's the problem. There's a lot of different adaptations of Spider-Man. He's a very prolific character. Do I want... Hang on. Oh, damn it. I was just thinking, it's like, okay. I think they want me doing the thing where I'm... I think I just die. Where I'm swapping to use whatever his current power's weakness is. which will be a little tricky to do in the middle of everything, but let's give it a shot. Copyright infringement. Copyright infringement, man! He's too close. You can't hold that against me. What, do I need a restraining order? Oh god. Okay, I can't use that. Never mind. But if he keeps his... No! There we go. Yeah, I didn't want to have to do that level again. Alright. Time rate 35. Screw you. Yes, you just go to the final battle. Make up for all of my mistakes in choosing my friend circle. You did do this. I mean, no. Let's not do the thing where it's like everything is somehow Dr. Light's fault. I will blame Dr. Kane for everything, though. Dr. Kane did make all those Reploids pretty willy-nilly after, you know... After Dr. Light spent all that time making sure that X was ready for stinking his life in the public. Okay. Now we get to the hardest challenge in the entire game. Which I'm gonna want this. I don't have anything. Like, does the time slow? Maybe. I hate that so much. You know what? I'm gonna test it out. Yeah, that would work. That'll work. That'll work. I'm very smart. You have no idea how smart I'm about to be. Gonna be so impressed. I got hit. I could just wreck with stinking Firestorm going through here. But yeah, I can get through this if I do something a bit unconventional. Probably. Oh, if you use the time stop... then the platform will travel slower, and that means... But no, it keeps me in the... Oh god, I almost missed my stinking stop there. It keeps me in the air longer, and keeping me in the air longer negates the disadvantage of the platform being down for longer. It makes sense. You saw me do it. You can't argue with me. I'm very smart. Pow, pow, pow. Pew, 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 pew. Okay. One more battle. Go ahead. Tell me all of your problems.
Only I programmed you differently back then. It would have been genius.
Well, if you would have reprogrammed me back then, I would have been Rock.
I'm really angry, Dr. Wily. Using innocent robots for your evil plans?
I'm very angry. I'm going to beat you up now.
Why, you insolent fool! I will crush
Not a loud crunch. Oh god, no.
Behold, my latest creation, the ultimate combat
Number 1, feeling very ambitious there.
number 1.
Now, do I use weaknesses now or on the second form? Can I get away with not using... Oh god. Okay, rolling cutters are a little hard to deal with when there's not a lot of room. Jump real carefully. Man, I sure do wish I had like an E-tank. Could you imagine this game with E-tank? Is he about to use... Okay, bombs. Hyper bombs. There we go.
You stubborn fool! This time I'll finish you for good!
Well, this time I'm going to finish you for bad.
Wait a second!
Also, you're the one who made it. If it's a useless piece of junk, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that, really? Alright, I think we're gonna cycle. I'll pause if I need to. As soon as I see what weapon he's using, it's... on. Damn it. No, I wanted to... That's one of the nice things. Like, I want to say they do it in Mighty Number 9 and 11 where you can just use a wheel to choose something quick. Which is really nice. Yeah, I think so. Oh. Because needing to cycle through an entire thing is a little... No! Well, I just can't get hit again, that's all. Oh god. What the fuck was that attack? I've literally never seen him use that before. How did I get... Yeah, how do I get away from him coming in for the hug? I guess if I see him do that again, I'll use time slow? Time slow would work. I mean, I don't know if it would work. It just might let me get a better idea on how to deal with his gropey ass. You're not doing anything right yet? Okay. That's a little hard to use. But that's fine. Did I get him? Honestly, I wish I could just automatically choose whatever weapon I wanted, but, no, we gotta go through the pause menu. Though it is kind of fun that you can sort of predict a little bit what weapon he's going to use based off of how he angles the butt of his, butt of his gun, right? Where, like, if it's tilted a certain way, it's like, oh, he's probably going to use, like, Hyper Bomb or Oil Slick. Though there are also a lot of them that are just straight ahead. I don't think that really helps you too much, Albert, but I appreciate the enthusiasm. Also like how he holds up his hands, because, like, really this cannot be safe, you know what I mean? Darn it, I meant to choose. He just did most of my health with that one. How the fuck do I deal with this? Seriously. He's just kind of like, well, you know what? I'm using the fuck you move. Do I need to look this up? If I die again, I'll look it up. Although I've, like, never seen him do that before. Like, I feel like there has to be a specific, you know, like, weapon that if you use that on him, he'll be like, oh no, you got me, Mega Man. But I don't know it. I'm not familiar with it. Never met it. And that he did it twice in a row is pretty gnarly as well. Darn it. Oh, I don't have anything for this. Never mind. Rolling Cutter is just Rolling Cutter. I wonder if he's using it specifically because I'm exploiting his weak points, and if I just fight him normally, if he'll be like, you know what? We don't need to go to the scary place. The I just kill you place. Which, I mean, if he wants to use Rolling Cutter, I can't really do anything anyway because I have no blocks. Make sure you say the name of the weapon every time. Okay, I guess he isn't, but still. Oh god. This is one of the ones that I would like to shoot him to get him out of the stinking... This is such a... He, like, shoots it, I want to say, 16 times? Which causes a lot of processing problems. Okay. I think I got him. Oh, no, I gotta hit him one more time. Yeah, I think that was it. Whatever, like, his unfair move, it might have been specifically because I was exploiting weak points. Maybe they're like, you know what? I don't think that's very fair. So you know what? I'm not going to be fair either. There's a certain amount of logic in that, I guess. Oh, no. Please forgive me, Mega Man. Okay, I'm gonna get Wheel of Names up. Is this still up from last week? Yeah, it is. Okay. Remove that. Oh, shoot, I need to do this. It is up, and we will be ready. So if anybody wants to make any guesses on what the next game shall be, get them in now. Goodness, I almost didn't need to turn on my lamp tonight. But yeah, that was fun. That was fun. I think the last time I did this, it took me like 3-4 hours, so I was a little worried on how it would go tonight. But I think when I did this previously, I was not really well versed in Powered Up. It had been a while, like it had been like 15 years since I played it, which is a bit of a hiatus. With this, I was able to, you know, slam through it without too much trouble. And doing it as Rock, I mean, you have all the weaknesses. So you don't need to worry about that one stumbling block, which is really nice. So yeah, good time. Good time. Have some gripes with Powered Up still, but you know, I think it's a pretty good game. For what it is, yeah, for what it's worth. This never drove me crazy doing it week after week after week after week until I cleared them all. I was always perfectly fine and in control of my facilities. Yay! I killed all of them. Other than Electman. Electman lived because I didn't have any weakness to use on him. But yeah, with that, let's start. Let's pull up Wheel of Names. Last chance to guess.
Capcom.
Scene 2, Scene 2. So, next week we will be playing... Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Ooh! Okay. I've kind of wanted to be... Yeah, I kind of wanted to hit one of Battle Network's... Yeah, one of the Battle Network 6s again. So, that's awesome. Huh. So that means that we will be locked into that for, what do I have this under? We'll be locked into that for probably, like, a few weeks? I want to say that I can beat it in, like, 4 streams or something like that. But we'll see. That is my favoritist of the Battle Network games, so that should be a lot of fun. But yeah, with that, I think we can start wrapping up. Thanks everybody who stopped in to watch. Thanks everybody who checked out the VOD. Rayquaza, Medler, I appreciate you guys hanging out. And yeah, if you enjoyed this, maybe consider subscribing and check out my main channel, Explosion, which is linked on the front of this one. I do scripted videos over there, so I'm a bit better spoken, and the video for tomorrow, which I just need a thumbnail for yet, is about narrative in games, and whether it can sink or salvage a game. But yeah. The plan for next week, I should probably do this. My gosh, I swear my brain is just in 1,000 different directions right now. Donkey Kong 64, we're gonna finish that up on Tuesday. I just need a few collectibles to open up the final world. Apparently I need 2 special nickels and a few crowns. But then I can fight K-Rool or whatever. And then next Saturday will be Battle Network 6, Cybeast Gregor. So yeah, not a platformer next time. But with that, I think we'll call it here. So thanks again, and have a lovely, lovely, lovely evening. Good night.